Good morning. I am happy to talk about my life and dispel some myths that have been circulating about me. My childhood was filled with study and preparation for the role I was to play in the future. I was one of the 16 children of Empress Maria Theresa and Emperor Franz I. My mother placed great emphasis on her children's education, although I must admit that I was not the most diligent student. During my childhood, I spent a lot of time with my siblings, playing and learning at the same time. Coming to France was a huge challenge for me. Everything was new and foreign, the language, the customs, and also the court politics. I had the feeling that I was being watched and judged at every turn. Louise was very shy, and initially our marriage was not easy. However, I tried my best to adapt to my new life. Indeed, I was interested in fashion and tried to introduce new trends at court. I believe that as queen I had a duty to represent France in a dignified and splendid way. I know that my expenses were criticized, but it should not be forgotten that they were largely related to the functioning of the court, and not just my personal whims. Unfortunately, my actions were often exaggerated by my political opponents. My role in politics was limited, especially at the beginning of our marriage. Over time, as Ludwig and I became closer, he consulted me on some issues. Nevertheless, he was the one who made the final decisions. The revolution was a huge shock for all of us. From the very beginning, I felt that our lives were in danger. The demolition of the Bastille and subsequent events showed how deep the hatred of the monarchy ran. We tried to find a way to communicate with the revolutionaries, but our attempts were unsuccessful. While we were imprisoned in the Tuileries and later in the Temple, I felt great fear for my life and that of my family. Louis' execution was the greatest blow to me. I knew my days were numbered, but I tried to preserve my dignity until the very end. My last moments were full of reflection and prayer. I tried to be strong for my children. I thought about my husband, our children, and what I was leaving behind. I knew that history would judge me, but I prayed that my children would have a better future. On the way to the guillotine, I tried to remain calm and dignified, knowing that this was the last act of my life. No, I never said that. It is a false attribution of my person. In fact, this phrase appeared in literature long before I arrived in France, and is often wrongly attributed to me. My Austrian background always aroused suspicion, but I was always loyal to France, the country that had become my new home. My contacts with my family in Austria were purely personal and not political. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak out and clarify these matters. I hope that my words will help dispel some misunderstandings and put my story into perspective.